Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are very pleased to be joined today by our good friend Rich from TradingWarz. We have the good fortune of announcing that we have added his golden indicator to the TrendSpider platform, and he's here today to give us a in-depth walkthrough of how he uses it, how it works. We're really happy to have you on, Rich. Thank you so much for being here. Really excited to learn more about this indicator.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of members of the community wanted to get the golden indicators on TrendSpider, so I'm just super excited to have them here today.
Absolutely. Well, walk us through this thing. Show us how it works.
Yeah. All right. So let's get started here. So I call these the golden indicators because if you trade them properly, if you use it properly, it can literally become golden. And I use it every single day to earn money from the markets. And a part of my goal was to give back to the community, and that's why I created these indicators. It just simplifies trading down to nuts and bolts, and that's what I do because for me, if it's not as simple, like a little kid can do it, then there's always going to be ambiguity, and then ambiguity leads to not making money at the end of the day. So we have on the indicator, very simply, we have the inside and outside bars, and that's pretty much the fundamental basis of everything. The outside bar is in white and the inside bar is in yellow. Obviously, you can change the colors depending on what you like, but I like the yellow and the white. And all these bars basically tell us are it's a form of consolidation slash traps, right? So an inside bar essentially means that we're in the range of the previous candle. And why the reason I love those is because it tends to kill option premiums. It tends to trap traders. And when we have that tightening of the range, generally we'll see some kind of expansion. And if you just look here on SPY, this is a monthly. We can see the yellow bars. We're working on one right now, but generally after these yellow bars, we have some movements, right? And that's what we're trying to get as traders. We're trying to get a good deal. And the inside bar helps us get a good deal because we're letting the premium decay, we're letting the range get tight, and that's going to allow us to get a good risk to reward. And then we have the outside bar, which is in white. And I like the outside bar a lot as well because it traps traders by breaking the high and low of the previous bar. And a lot of the times you'll see this was one of the trades we actually took in January, which was the top of SPY, where we make a new high by a few pennies and then we turn around and sell off. And I love the outside bars because it helps to look for trapped breakout traders. And that's the reason why I play those. So combined together, we have inside bars and outside bars. And that's where my strategy is built around. I don't care about any other bar because I know what the pattern of an inside and an outside bar is likely to do. And the likeliness allows me to make money. Then, like I was mentioning earlier, we have defined risk. What does that mean? Well, we know that we're going to take a bar by bar approach. So, for example, we have an inside bar down here. So the way that I like to trade these is simply the breakout. So if it breaks above the high, we're going to go long. If it breaks below the low, we're going to go short. I have some advanced entries that I'll talk about after, but we're just risking this bar. So we know if we get in on the break of the high, our stop loss is on the low. Very simple. And that's what really helps me with trading because I know I'm risking one bar to make multiple bars. I'm trying to make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars. In this case right here for SPY, you probably get about 6 or 7 bars out of this move. And that defined risk helps you to make money because with the 2-to-1 risk reward, like I mentioned down here, you only need to win 34 out of 100 trades to make a profit. So that's what I'm trying to do in my head is try to get 2-to-1 with these bars, 2-to-1, 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 depending on where my stop loss is. Now, what makes this a little bit more special is the combination of the bars. And I've called these Holy Grails and Nirvana. So if we have an outside plus an inside bar, what happens with my indicator is you'll get a yellow highlight that comes on your screen. And that's what I call the Holy Grail. And the Holy Grail is a rare pattern in itself because the outside bar, it traps both sides. Then the inside comes in and tightens up the range. And we generally see great moves off of these Holy Grails. And now on the other side, we have a Nirvana, which is basically a flip. So I have an example over here, and it will basically highlight it in blue. So it's just an inside followed by an outside. So those patterns on their own are rare because to get the combination of the outside inside or the inside outside, it's not going to happen often. Okay. And because of that, I love to become a sniper and focus on those particular patterns. So I even have 2 other Twitter channels that are dedicated just to the Holy Grail and Nirvana because I just love trading them so much. It's the same pattern over and over and over again. So here's an example of SPY with a Holy Grail. So we could see we had an outside bar. This was back in September of 2020. This is the monthly, and we broke the high and the low of August 2020. And then in October, we consolidated within this tight range. And then from there, just taking the break above here, putting your stop on the other side. This was a great winner. And like I said, it's a very rare pattern. The last time we had one before that was in March of 2015. So I love scanning for these patterns on all different types of stocks. You can use it on anything you want. It could be crypto, whatever. And the thought process is the same. We're consolidating, we're trapping traders, we're taking it one bar at a time, bar by bar approach. What I love doing with SPY with the Holy Grails is actually trading the 15-minute chart. And this is something that I trade a lot with my members in my room as well, is just these Holy Grail patterns on the 15. So anytime we have these yellow highlights, that's your Holy Grail. And you can see that we do get good movements off of these. Sometimes we have chop, like this was the FOMC back on April 6th. But when we get clean moves out of this, you can make a great risk to reward. And then the blue, like I said, is the Nirvana, which is just the opposite of the Holy Grail. And those also lead to great moves as well. So I also like trading this on the 5. And you can see, we actually had one recently that's playing out right now, and that's working on it. So that here's your entry to the short side. You put your stop on top of the bar, and that's going to play out into the close. We have a Nirvana over here, which was a winner. So if you just have the patience to sit and wait for these particular setups, it's a very simple approach. You just play the bar. Okay, so you put your stop on the other side, and then you let it go from there. And then the only other thing I would like to talk about with these indicators is, as you get a little bit more advanced, what I like doing actually is adding Fibonacci's onto these candlesticks. So what that allows you to do is get a better risk to reward, get a better stop loss, etc. If we go down to the daily, we can actually look recently. We had an inside bar on Friday, and we had this gap down this morning. So generally with these patterns, you can easily just look back on the chart that you're trading and just look at, is it actually making moves right after these patterns? And that gives you a good idea. You can even do a little bit of a back test to help you understand if there's an edge based on the instrument that you trade. And then for me, trading SPY, I use this all the time, and it just helps to narrow things down. So with this indicator, I would love everyone to focus a lot more on the Holy Grails and the Nirvanas because they're so rare. It allows you to become a sniper, and it allows you to get patience in trading, which is, the biggest issue that I see with new traders is over trading. And why don't we just look at one more here? We could look at something like AMD, and we could see that a lot of times we have these inside bars at the top of the Bollinger Bands, at the middle, and at the bottom. So the Bollinger Bands, I love using those as well, but those are only for the higher time frames. Like I love to use them on the weekly and the above. So weekly, monthly, and anything above that. And the reason why is because it just helps me to gauge the overall trend. So what you can do is, if you want to add a little bit of confluence, you can make rules. So for example, when we're at the top of the Bollinger Band and you have an inside bar, you want to go short because it's overextended. Or if we are the range of the bands are getting tight and we're hugging that middle band, which can be a support, we could use that as a bullish sign. So there's kind of endless possibilities on how you can get the confluence that you want. But the most simplest way is always just to go ahead and use the actual bar. So you just do a bar by bar approach. Let me pull up another one. Actually, today was Facebook. So I took this trade a little bit earlier on Facebook, and we made about $1,000. So here we go. Here was an inside bar on Facebook, and this was on Friday. So with that inside bar, what I know is likely to happen today is that we're likely to break the low or the high. And you could already see we gapped down this morning, so we already broke that low. So if you look at all these inside bars on the past on Facebook, we've been trading every single one of these as an example, right? And these continue to just make new highs or new lows. And just getting in on the 5-minute chart today, I'll pull that up as well. So look at this, guys. Like this is, I didn't even I didn't even look at this chart for the Holy Grail, but it's there. And that hopefully that's a sign there. So we have this Holy Grail right at the top of the day, right? That's the high of the range, and you just take your break. Once you break below the low, keep your stop above the high, and we flush down. And then there was another inside bar here, and then there was some signals at the bottom of the range, outside bars and inside bars taking you back up. So I love just keeping things simple and looking for the bars because I know how to play a bar. But if you overcomplicate things and you try to do too much, sometimes it becomes overwhelming. And these indicators, I hope, will help to make your journey a lot simpler and a lot clearer.
Awesome, man. So let me ask you just one quick question. I notice sometimes you'll see a Holy Grail and a Nirvana right on top of each other, like
Yeah.
occurring right in tandem. Have you found anything out about that particular sequence of events? Do those Are those more
Yeah.
confirming or anything like that?
Yeah, we have a name for that pattern. It's called the Ragnarok. And
Ragnarok. Cool.
on the lower time frames, it doesn't really mean too much because a lot of the times you get those patterns in severe chop, especially like on an FOMC day. You'll have a lot of those because we're just waiting for the news. When you get that on a higher time frame, like a daily chart, a weekly chart, it's very, very significant, but also extremely rare. And it's the same way that we play these bars. We just take a bar by bar approach. But what the benefit of those type of patterns is, you're getting a good deal. Because if we've been going sideways, especially if you get a pattern like a double inside bar, I don't think I have one on the chart here, but that's also very rare where the range keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The premiums keep getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So it works really well when also trading options.
Got it. Awesome, man. Well, this is exciting. We're really excited to have the platform, or I'm sorry, we're really excited to have the indicator on the platform, and I'm anxious to dig in and play around with it.
Yes, thank you so much. And this is just the beginning. I know we're gonna do a lot more, and I'm just so happy to be on the platform. You guys are great, and I appreciate you guys having us.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.